Hi, I'm going to talk a little bit about my moniker, Wisdom at Speed, and a term called acceptance. Acceptance. Acceptance, it's really feels like it's weak and passive and almost like defeat. Okay, I accept. But you also accept a job. You accept a contract. So acceptance and wisdom, what does that mean? Well, let's think about power. Do you have infinite power? Well, if I'm talking to you, a fellow creative person, I wonder, tell me the truth. If you think you could be locked in a room with every single CEO or CMO in the world, could you just solve their problems better than anyone else in the world could? But can you? Or will you? Should you? See, the thing is, all relationships, client and agency, and sometimes an agency loses an account, a multi-million dollar account just because someone just on that side just didn't like someone on that side. And it bugged them for 2 years and eventually it changed. Mm. You see, universal potential is there. I could potentially become a gold medal Olympic pole vaulter. I really could have that potential, but I haven't and I never will because I don't want to. I love watching it. Oh, God, I love watching it, but I will never want to try it. So universal potential is there, but wisdom of acceptance, knowing that in this particular situation, this person or this client or this business or this vendor and I are not at the same frequency. Frequency. Now, if you remember or ever heard of the old radios where you turned a dial and the thing went, if you didn't have it tuned in exactly, you had it 107.5, you got static because you were not precisely tuned in. If you just tune it exactly to 107.12, good morning, everybody, you got it exactly right. And if you heard a voice like that, I would keep going. But the point is, matching the frequency exactly. If you go to a restaurant and say, I'm hungry, bring me some food, you might get what you want, you might not. But getting exactly what you want is important for frequency. So back to acceptance. When you accept that maybe the frequency is not being matched exactly, if you don't accept it, you'll keep banging your head on it. And like I said, the universe will give you every reason why you should notice it. It's trusting the fact that when you key in exactly what you want, you dial it in precisely the frequency you wish to be at, you will get the signals that match it. It's true. And acceptance of knowing this to this to this are opportunities to use your infinite potential, but in the situations that match it perfectly. Yeah, but we really need the piece of business. We don't. Well, you know how many agencies and people have said that, and they almost want to commit suicide months later. They chose it for the wrong reason. It's scary to say, I don't know how we're going to pay our bills next month or how we're going to keep payroll. But there's a great story, and I wish I knew who this was, but it was in Atlanta, and there's a really big client in Atlanta. Maybe you've heard of it, called Coke. It was a PR firm, I think. It was run by some women, and Coke called one day at the time when they really needed some new client income. It was like touch and go, really, really scary. And then Coke calls. It's like God is on the phone, right? And God comes in, Coke, and they're talking about the project they want them to do. And they're listening. They're going, yeah, okay, well, thanks. We'll talk to you soon. And they bit their nails and they sweat bullets for days. This project really wasn't right for them. It wasn't their expertise. They weren't going to enjoy it. They called Coke and said, sorry, but this isn't right for us. And Coke said, oh, all right, sorry to hear that. Okay, bye. And the next 2 weeks were hell. They didn't know what was going to happen. The phone wasn't ringing. Business wasn't coming in. They were cutting back as much as they could. They canceled the flowers, they canceled the dinners, they canceled the whatever. Everyone was trying to do their best, but it sucked. But then the phone rang again. It was Coke. They said, hey, we've got a project we think would be right for you. They came back. They had a better project. everything got better. Now, if you believe this actually happened, you know who it was, tell me. If you believe it didn't happen, it's just a story, well, it's a teaching story then. Accept. Acceptance is wisdom. It's a powerful, powerful wisdom. And fine-tune the frequency of who you are, what you want, and how you put it out there. I hope this helps.